What happens when the sun never comes up? Today, we're diving into something truly wild. Places on our own planet that get plunged into complete, total darkness for months at a time. Now, really, think about that for a second. No sunrises, no daylight, for nearly 4 months straight. For thousands of people, this is just normal life. It really makes you wonder about what humans are capable of. Wow, that quote just perfectly captures the feeling, doesn't it? This idea of a world where every single moment is just wrapped up in the quiet of the night. It's a little eerie, but also kind of beautiful. And look, this isn't some plot from a sci-fi movie. It's a very real thing called the polar night. In some parts of northern Norway, the sun literally dips below the horizon in the fall, and they don't see it again until a new year begins. But one town decided they weren't going to take it lying down. They decided to fight the darkness. And this is where the story gets just unbelievable. It's a story about a dream that was 100 years in the making and a totally brilliant fix for what seemed like an impossible problem. So the whole issue comes down to geography. The town of Rjukan is tucked away so deep inside a valley that the mountains around it act like these enormous walls. For 6 long months in the winter, they completely block out any and all direct sunlight. You know what's so amazing about this? The sheer persistence. This idea was first floated way back in 1913. For almost a century, it was just a crazy fantasy. But then, a town in Italy did something similar, and it worked. That was all the proof Rjukan needed. And in 2013, they finally made their dream a reality. So how'd they do it? The solution is pure genius. They used helicopters to place 3 massive mirrors, they're called heliostats, about 1,500 feet up on the mountainside. A computer then tracks the sun's path and tilts the mirrors just right to catch those rays and bounce a perfect circle of light down into the main town square. How cool is that? Now, this whole thing was not cheap. The project cost around $850,000. But that really tells you something, doesn't it? It shows just how much this community valued bringing even a small piece of the sun back into their lives during that long, dark winter. Rjukan's story is incredible. But it kind of begs the question, right? What's the science behind all this? Why do the poles have these insane periods of light and darkness to begin with? Well, the official term for it is polar night, and the definition is pretty simple. It's any time the sun stays below the horizon for more than 24 hours straight. And in the most extreme parts of the poles, this can go on for 6 whole months. So, what's the culprit? It all comes down to the fact that our planet is tilted. It's on an axis of about 23.5 degrees. So, when it's winter in the northern hemisphere, that part of the Earth is tilted away from the sun, which plunges the North Pole into darkness. Then in the summer, it's tilted towards the sun, which is when they get 24/7 daylight, the famous midnight sun. And this isn't just a Norway thing. It happens in any country that has land inside the polar circles. So we're talking about parts of Russia, Greenland, Canada, the US state of Alaska, and of course the entire continent of Antarctica down at the South Pole. Okay, so knowing the science is one thing, but how do people actually live through this? Let's take a look at a town called Longyearbyen. It's one of the northernmost places people live on Earth, and they are masters of adaptation. Just look at this chart of a year in Longyearbyen. It's a life of extremes. They get around 112 days of complete darkness, followed by 129 days where the sun never ever sets. That leaves only about a third of their year for what the rest of us would call a normal day. Oh, and did I mention it's cold? The average temperature during the polar night is hovering around minus 20 degrees Celsius. That's minus 4 Fahrenheit. So you're not just dealing with the dark. You're dealing with brutal, biting cold. So, how do they do it? How do they cope? The key, it seems, is community. When it's that cold and dark outside, your social life becomes everything. People get together for festivals, for parties, for all kinds of community events. The human warmth really fights back against the environmental cold. People there have also developed some pretty incredible tricks to get by. They use special indoor lighting to kind of fake a normal day/night cycle. They use light therapy to help with seasonal depression. Sticking to a really strict daily routine is absolutely crucial. And of course, you can't go outside without some serious thermal gear. Life doesn't stop, it just adapts. When you learn about these extreme cycles of light and dark, it really makes you appreciate the incredible balance of our planet and the simple rhythm of life that most of us just experience every single day without a second thought. This final thought really just puts it all in perspective. For most of us, this constant, predictable cycle, Day for doing things, night for resting, is something we just completely take for granted. But it's this fundamental rhythm that shapes our whole lives. That balance really is a gift. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Besides just day and night, what's a natural cycle in your own life that you really value? Maybe it's the changing seasons, or the tides, or the phases of the moon. It's definitely something worth considering. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Like, comments, and share.